it's such a complex environment and ecosystem that these products, like you're talking about integrations with other products in the same kind of environment. Now, what was cool to me is like, oh, what does beta look like in that kind of environment? And I'd love to hear you just kind of explain your program, because I think it's so special and unique, and I will say complex, but hopefully you can shed some light on that.
The beta, because we do have a lot of integrations, and we have an amazing integration team. We're agnostic to integration. So this is I think it's really cool. We have all of these people that are clinicians or experts in this that essentially partner with other organizations that provide care to hospitals. So they have tools in hospitals, and they make sure that essentially, how do we make this so that it's better for our clinicians? What are the things that we're doing to improve healthcare? From a beta perspective, it does mean that it ends up being a bit more complex because we're testing different products with different end users and kind of different setups. And so we always start with sort of one of the first steps is, of course, we do an evaluation to say, is this beta needed? We have a tool to help with us, help that conversation. And then after we've done that, we take the time to say, okay, what are our success metrics? How are we going to gather that data? What is needed? And kind of a first pass at that. And then what we do is we do the same thing for, like, what are we going to need from a customer? So who are the partners that we'd want to do this with? What kind of technology do they need to have? What are the type of users? Like, how innovative are they? What will we need in order to make sure this is really a good fit? And then the other big piece is we start off by internally identifying who are our internal subject matter experts for whatever that beta is, to say, we want to make sure that we build the best test, but also that we're doing this in a way that we gather the right data, and we are creating we're doing this in a way that best supports the clinicians who will be using it. So we want this to be an excellent experience for the clinicians, for the hospital that's our partner, and then also for our internal teams. And so it really has to start with that. Who are the subject matter experts to define all of those pieces?
That's great. And you talked about setting some success metrics. Now, the common success metrics I see are things like hitting a certain net promoter score, a satisfaction level, or like making sure that we don't have any critical or major issues. Now, are your success metrics any different than those, or how are they unique in your space?
It would be very similar to that for a lot of it, but we're usually looking to make sure, validate that it's working the way it's supposed to, and then it's meeting a certain quality, whatever that performance level is that we have an expectation of. We do all of that. We always are looking for feedback from the end users to say, we have what is that score that we want? But a lot of times a big part of this is, let's say we have a beta, because we're working with hospitals, we want to make sure we get all of those test metrics. But a big part of it is also that we walk away, and at the end of it, our partner in this, our customer, says, I want to test with you again. Maybe they don't love the product. Maybe they said, this isn't a great fit for us, or, we need a few more iterations to make this really more helpful for our clinicians. But we want to test with you again. And we say, from that perspective, we want to say that, like, they felt fully supported. We listened, we responded, and we made sure throughout the process that, like, we had a team that gave them essentially white glove support. With every test, that is one of our starting goals.
Yeah. Now, I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. Why is that so important that we're providing that good experience to those I'll call them customers, because a lot of the cases these are customers of yours. Why is it so important to have them have a good beta experience?
I think if we go to sort of the core of this, I think the first piece is, like, the whole Stryker mission is that together with our customers, we're improving healthcare. So, like, We start
Love
off
that.
with, this is our mission. This is what we're going to do. And we have values that we attach to all of those. So we actually say, like, with each of those, we're going to start off and make sure that we have it with integrity, accountability, people, and performance. So we have that defined, and we actually define that from our beta test. But the other big part is what we're testing. In most cases, we're testing products with clinicians in hospitals. And so it needs to be a great experience, because the work that we're doing, like, the test is important. I absolutely believe that the tests it's important to the work that we're doing. It's important to our products. It's important to our business. And the work that those clinicians are doing is life-saving. Like, what they're doing on a database, that has to be the priority. And so that's the work that they do is priority. What I'm doing is secondary, and I have to be adding something that's positive to their life, not making things more difficult. So it's sometimes that can be a little bit of a hard line when you're testing products, but it's absolutely necessary, especially like before COVID, things were hard. During COVID, it was really hard. And then afterwards, like, just healthcare as a whole is having so many challenges. And so we have to be in a space where we're really looking at it saying, we're partners in this process.